can scramble out of the bottom three at least for 48 hours. The result and the points are everything for two of the Premier League's most popular managers, Lenny Lawrence, the great escapologist, of course, and Joe Royle. Well, Middlesbrough have lost 8 of their last 10 games. They got a good point, though, at Blackburn on Saturday. They're still without first-choice keeper Steve Pears and key defender Alan Kernahan. Right back Chris Morris was injured at Blackburn on Saturday, but Curtis Fleming, who's been out with a knee injury, comes in and fits nicely into the right-back position. Otherwise, the same side who got a draw at Ewood Park.
Well, many Middlesbrough supporters I've talked to wanted Lenny Lawrence to play 2 front men tonight. He's answered their prayers there by pairing John Henry and Wilkinson up front. It looks a little bit unbalanced, but he's looking for Robbie Mustoe, the number 8 there, to provide the width on the right side. Andy Peake to hold in front of the 2 centre-backs, and Falconer and Wright to join the attack as often as possible.
Well, Oldham had a 25-hour period off the bottom at the weekend until Forest Point yesterday, but they're back in last place now. They failed to keep a single clean sheet on their Premier League travels. They've been troubled by injuries all season, to be fair. The latest casualties, Ian Marshall, he's out for a month, and Mark Brennan, both hurt against Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday. Andy Ritchie, interestingly, is back up front. He's had rare opportunities, and Paul Bernard will slip into the midfield.
Well, Joe Royle recently has tried playing 5 in midfield, but I think with the inclusion of Andy Ritchie, that looks a more attacking formation there, with Ritchie and Olney up front. The only difference from that is that either Henry or Bernard will play wide on the left. Don't be surprised if number 11 Bernard plays in the middle, and number 4 Nick Henry plays wide left. And with victory essential for Middlesbrough tonight, and Paul Wilkinson, with only 1 league goal in his last 9 league games, really must rediscover his goal-scoring touch. And with Oldham looking for their first clean sheet away from home in the league, and how Richard Jobson goes about his job against them will be vital.
Tonight's referee is Kelvin Morton, and he has a very big appointment coming up at Wembley, the Sheffield Derby that you'll see live on Sky Sports. He says he's really looking forward to that. And of course a key game for him tonight as well. And a lovely touch before this game, you know, in the tunnel. I'm told that all the players shook hands with each other, and with all the pressure and tension on them, that really is a very nice touch. We're away here. A key match this at the bottom, and it's a bit of a cliche about 6-pointers, but Andy, this really is one.
Oh, if ever a game can be called that, Ian, then we've got one tonight.
Here's Curtis Fleming, who's come back into the side after missing the last 5 games with a knee injury. Just as well for Lenny Lawrence that he was fit with Morris out. Poynton getting this one forward and offside in the middle against Ian Olney. Middlesbrough, remember, are 2 points ahead of Oldham at the start of play, but Oldham do have a game in hand, and both sides have more games to play at home than away on the run-in. Wilkinson going up for this one. He's bound to be a threat to Oldham tonight. Away by White for Middlesbrough, knocked on by Falconer. Robbie Mustoe trying to find Hendry, who's being deployed tonight in a far more central role. And for a moment there, Paul Gerrard losing the ball, and a bit of argy-bargy for Kelvin Morton to sort out already, Andy.
Yeah, but stupid from Paul Gerrard, though. I mean, actually trying to clip the old John Henry in the back of the head. You don't do that in the penalty area. The referee takes the wrong view of that. You could be giving a penalty away. But little John, I mean, this is what you expect early on. This is a big match for everyone. He gets a little reckless with his shoulder charge, but it's a little bit needless what goes on after that. But just looking quickly in at Oldham's formation, they have tampered with it a little bit. They've actually gone 3 narrow in the midfield area, the central midfield area, with Henry, Milligan and Neil Adams just playing in the little hole between the midfield 3 and the front 2. So he's changed it a little bit, Joe Royle, once again.
Middlesbrough trying to come forward. Wilkinson can't control it. Jobson with the important interception, and Olney's pass is not nearly accurate enough for Adams. It's quite a good opportunity there too for Oldham to counter. Fleming getting this one forward. Here's Mustoe, blonde-haired figure. Now Peake, who's been in a few scrapes at the bottom with Lenny Lawrence in his time at Charlton. Andy Ritchie knocking this one on towards Olney. Ritchie just playing behind Olney at the moment, and Ritchie, who's had very little match practice, only his 6th start this season. He's been struggling to shake off the effects of back surgery. That'll be a free kick.
They've almost gone man for man in midfield. Oldham, with Bernard against Faulkner, Milligan and Peake, and Henry and Musto.
Looks like Peake is going to be the one who takes this free kick, although Fleming's there as well. Peake takes it in the end, not a very good one at all. And he had big Wilkinson waiting for some service as well in the middle. Musto trying to pick up Hendry's run. Once again, easy for Fleming in that Oldham defence. Here's Olney, good little flick on to Adams, and Adams has been in great goal-scoring form for Oldham lately. He's scored 4 of their last 5 goals.
Well, that's that little position he's in tonight, Neil Adams, just behind the front two and looking to get through and get past them every time. This really is quite an attacking formation that Joe Royle has sent out at the beginning of the game.
Poynton. Bit long, aimed towards Olney, just a wee bit too long for him. Still could be something for Oldham though. Gunnar getting this in, and Bernard couldn't direct it anywhere near the target, as you saw.
That was an awkward one for Bernard to deal with, but the ball from Gunnar really wasn't good enough. Great opportunity to put a really threatening ball in there, but just his cross into the box, not good enough at all.
Gunnar, one of 6 Norwegian internationals now playing in the Premier League. It's a growing club. It's not only Christmas trees they give us these days. Paul Wilkinson, sure to be a vital figure, top scorer again for Middlesbrough this year. And certainly Lenny Lawrence could do with a nice flow of goals from him on the run-in. This is the Oldham skipper, Mike Milligan. Oldham's free kick. Here's Haller. First touch let him down, but Faulkner has given it back for Oldham. Forward by Fleming, and Ritchie is onside there. But he won't catch it. And a difficult time for Andy Ritchie. He hasn't scored a goal since March the 14th last year, but having said that, he's hardly played. Again, Ritchie, his experience will be vital, and this would be some night if Oldham could rediscover his golden touch.
Well, I think having lost the experience of Graham Sharp, it is vital that someone like Andy Ritchie has got himself back fit and ready and available for Oldham in the run-in.
Bernard's touch not too good. Jobson, and eventually Oldham, who can play some quite neat football at times, and they will try to football their way out of trouble because it's in their nature. But it's been the defence that's let them down. 58 goals conceded, and mind you, Middlesbrough have conceded 57, Andy.
What odds on a no-score tonight?
Don't mention it.
No.
Poynton. Adams knocking this down. Milligan forward, offside.
Certainly doesn't look as if they're trying to curb any adventurism in this Oldham side. You see Neil Poynton trying to get through and join the attack there.
Last time we saw him, of course, he was being taken away on a stretcher at Sheffield United after that tackle from Brian Deane. Happily, it didn't work out too seriously, and here he is back in action. Milligan knocking this one forward. Now a chance maybe for Hendry to test young Fleming. And Hendry's got goal side here. And Milligan with a very, very important interception there. Jimmy Phillips. Milligan there did some great work chasing back to deprive Hendry.
He looks a little bit incensed, John Henry, but I don't think he had a case there.
Adams knocking this forward up towards Olney and Ritchie, who just got in each other's way in the end. Here's Hendry again for Middlesbrough. And a right old tussle already between him and Craig Fleming.
Well, we can have a look at this incident here. It just shows us his body strength, John Hendry there, and this is where it's important. You see he's hooked his left arm there around John Henry's body. I think that's what he's complaining about. But as you can see from the picture, the referee on the wrong side to see that. But a good intervention nonetheless from the skipper.
Poynton up towards Ritchie, but beaten in the air by the Scottish international White. Jobson again, he's had an outstanding season for Oldham, but it's sometimes been amid considerable debris around him in the defence. Milligan. Poynton, Adams has gone wide if he wants to use him. Instead he looks to narrow it.
That's where it should have gone in. Yeah, you were right, that's where it should have gone wide. He had a great position, Neil Adams.
Middlesbrough 0, Oldham 0. In a game of crucial importance down in the relegation area. Henry sprung from midfield, but across was Nicky Mohan.
That's one area they've got to be very careful, Middlesbrough, with Bernard, Adams and Henry, all capable and all very willing to run forward and pass the ball in. And certainly the midfield players of Middlesbrough really have a defensive responsibility tonight.
Now Oldham have a free kick here in quite a promising position. The foul was on Adams. The defenders have moved forward here, notably Jobson, who can be dangerous from these sort of situations. Ritchie was trying to get in on the near post. Back in by Henry, but Ritchie offside by several yards.
Not the best delivery from a free kick there, but you can see as Andy Ritchie had gone and challenged at the near post, couldn't get out quick enough. I think that's one of the easier decisions the linesman will have.
Wilkinson winning this one, but only to Milligan. Oldham have been first to settle here, without creating anything very concrete.
You sometimes find that happens with the pressure on the home side to go forward and win the match, Ian, and losing so vital. They don't from Middlesbrough. You sometimes find it takes the home team a little bit longer to settle. What they'll be looking for will be one little move, a good little movement, a chance, a shot at goal just to settle them down.
Mohan with the free kick for Middlesbrough. Jobson is up there again, and he was pushing. Looks a little bit bemused at the decision. Does Jobson, of course, who's on standby for the England trip to Turkey.
Well, I don't think we'll find much daylight between these two tonight. I said this could be a key area, and I think that'll prove so. Paul Wilkinson is vital in the attacking options of Middlesbrough. And Richard Jobson, as you say, has had a fine season. His defensive ability really could be questioned tonight.
Well, this is about 25 yards out. It's certainly within striking distance. Jimmy Phillips is there, along with Andy Peake and Robbie Mustoe. Which of them is going to hit it? Looks like Phillips with the left foot. They're not going to score like that. Middlesbrough, in fact, have only scored 4 goals in this pretty bad run they've been having of late in the last 10 games.
Yeah, goal scoring has been a problem. But, I mean, he just lost his foot in there, Jimmy Phillips, trying to connect with the ball.
In fact, Middlesbrough haven't won here at Ayresome Park in the Premier League since January the 26th, when they beat Southampton 2-1. Long time for their fans to wait. Here is Phillips again. Not a bad looking ball down the channel for Hendry, but Fleming is sticking to him like a leech. He could almost be wearing Hendry's shirt so far. Phillips taking it quickly, playing the 1-2. Hendry, and once again the youngster has done pretty well. Young man who was signed from Halifax and has come right from the basement division to the top division and done quite well.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very alert tonight, Craig Fleming. As John Henry will take him in areas he doesn't want to go and move him about.
Gerrard punching, not too effectively. Wilkinson on the turn. And Oldham grateful to scramble that one away. Tommy Wright. Up towards Wilkinson, good little flick on. Mohan's come forward here from the back. Jobson's there, but Middlesbrough just turning the screw a little bit for the first time. And over the top of his own bar by Gerrard.
Well, a little bit of indecision between Gerrard and Jobson there that allowed Nicky Mohan to get across in there, and the goalkeeper taking no chances about catching a greasy ball this early.
Nicky Mohan there making something out of nothing almost. And, the young goalkeeper, only 20. He's really had a baptism of fire in the Premier League since he came in December. Now Ritchie. Oh, that's good play by Ritchie. Really clever play to find Bernard. Poynton's come forward here down the left if he can get there, but he can't. Derek White is across. Lovely bit of play that by Ritchie in the build-up. Just turning it into Bernard's path. And Oldham with the throw. Here's Andy Ritchie again. He's trying to buy a half yard for the cross, but playing it out in the end. Three times top scorer for Oldham Athletic, Andy Ritchie. And of course, the former Manchester United, Brighton and Leeds man, but struggling to get his sharpness back, and that's been another blow for Joe Royle, and he's had a few with injury this year. Push on Wilkinson by Jobson. It's Middlesbrough the free kick. Here's Fleming. Up for Hendry. Again, Fleming coming out on top in that battle, which looks like being a plot that will thicken all night long. Gunnar Oldham trying to engineer something down this right-hand side. Played in towards Ritchie. Beaten in the air by Moen. And scrambled clear by Andy Peake. Poynton. Olney. Onside. Just forced a little bit wide. The bounce wasn't too kind to him. And Jimmy Phillips needs no second invitation. Right for Middlesbrough. And they played it a bit square, and it's allowed Oldham to get men back behind the ball. But here is Falconer breaking onto this one, and well played by young keeper Gerrard.
That was a great run from Willie Falconer. Had the ball just held up another half yard for him, he would just be nicking it over Paul Gerrard. But a good goalkeeper for the youngster. He knew he had to make the ball his, and he did so.
Paul Gerrard, his only clean sheet so far against Manchester United. Here he is in action, Andy.
Yeah, it's Curtis Fleming that produces the ball, and you see how close Falconer is to latching onto it. Good goalkeeping.
Hendry, Wilkinson. Peake breaking forward, Poynton with the clever backheader. Little Nick Henry can't keep it in. Nicky Henry has scored within 48 seconds against Queen's Park Rangers, fastest goal of the weekend. Wilkinson trying to get there and going down in the penalty area, and Calvin Morton waves aside all hopes of a Middlesbrough penalty.
Yeah, it's good defending at the end from Richard Jobson.
Of course, they're absolutely haunted around here, you know, Andy, because last time they came up, they went down straight away.
See, he's wanting Gerrard to come and get it, Richard Jobson. You can see that, but it holds up, and then he just has to get his body in front of Paul Wilkinson. And he's doing nothing wrong there if you're a defender.
Jobson and Wilkinson have several more tussles as this goes on. Big appointment this for Calvin Morton, the referee. Yesterday he was the ref in that Southend Millwall game that ended 3-3, and he sent off a former Middlesbrough player, Colin Cooper of Millwall. Haller into the path of Olney, but his first touch allowed Moen to get in. But here's Poynton now. White with the header. Mosto with the clearance. Two sides here literally fighting for their Premier Division lives, with all the financial implications of that, of course. Adams being deployed more centrally tonight. Haller. was the kind of ball where somebody might have made a run into that channel, but it was probably hit a bit too hard as well.
It just looked like he ran in there and was running out of ideas, Gunnar. The more confident start in the game has certainly come from Oldham.
Hendry roaming around and trying to create some havoc. He might do it here too. And bouncing around dangerously. Jobson to the rescue for Oldham before Wilkinson could pounce. Fleming. Not away yet. Bouncing around very dangerously, and they're almost forced for Falconer. And Oldham just living dangerously for a moment there. Jimmy Phillips here on this left-hand side. Made room for the cross. Oh, and it was wasted with 4 red shirts waiting.
Well, he did the difficult thing very, very well. And the easy thing quite poorly.
Gunnar Haller. He's been one of the few Scandinavian success stories so far in English football. Poynton, good little run from Nick Henry. Here's Bernard. Henry's carried on with his run. Bernard goes the other way. And Phillips has to win this. He does. Just a bit of a buzz about Oldham at the moment. Poynton. Ritchie looking to knock it down. Haller once again. Blue shirts congregating in the middle. Here's the cross from Ritchie. Knocked down by Bernard towards Olney, but Peake was in there for Middlesbrough.
There's a nervousness about Middlesbrough at the moment, there really is.
Well, wins certainly have been few and far between for them. Since Christmas, they've only got 7 points, which is catastrophic form, really.
Well, it's understandable why they find themselves in this predicament then, when you see that kind of record.
7 points, in fact, out of a possible 39.
To fear to let Lenny Lawrence, when we covered Middlesbrough at Villa Park, when Villa absolutely hammered them, Ian, he was very concerned that night that he felt his team had to show a lot of character, or he felt they would be drawn into the relegation area, and they were quite comfortable mid-table at that time. And he's been proved right.
Now Milligan's breaking forward. White is there. Back in again. It's too long for Ritchie, though. Yeah, you're right, Andy. They were 12th on Boxing Day, and they were in the top half till November. And now, of course, they're right in the middle of the fight at the bottom. This is Ian Ironside, who's been deputising for Steve Pears. Wilkinson knocks this on towards Hendry. And Fleming again reading things very well. He's made an outstanding start at the back for Oldham. Good flick on that was by Adams. Here's Bernard waiting for support. Haller might provide it down the right. Good enterprising attack by Oldham. Falconer getting in the important tackle.
Yeah, it's good tracking back by Willie Falconer, and vital as well.
Ritchie. Haller and Ritchie again. Good turn by Ritchie, but all too close for him in the end. Now Hendry. Little Tommy Wright. Looking to attack. And he's got a bit of pace as well. Once again, Fleming was in there. Offside flag is up.
It's a pity in that last attack, they just overdid it a little bit in this near side. They had a lovely opportunity with plenty of men in the penalty area to produce a cross, but Andy Ritchie just overdid things a little.
Good tackle by Haller, ahead of Wright. Ritchie. And Milligan just running into oblivion on this right-hand side there. That's a good turn by Hendry, gets the better of Fleming for once.
But he didn't give it up, did he, Fleming? Looked for a minute that John Henry would be in a position to produce a cross here. Again, he uses that body strength he's got. He's really excellent at turning. The referee plays a good advantage, but that one extra touch on it allowed Craig Fleming to put the tackle in.
It's going to be another corner for Middlesbrough. More anxious moments for Oldham and their small group of travelling fans. Here's the corner count, 4-0 for Middlesbrough. The corner is knocked back in, but the whistle's gone for an infringement. Must have been a bit of pushing somewhere.
Yeah, a little nudge. Robbie Mustoe at the edge of the box as it's cleared here. First header, they deal with it quite well and get the header out to the edge of the box. It's just here. See the little arm in the back there of Nick Henry from Rob Mustoe.
There is Robbie Mustoe, a former Oxford United player. Cost £375,000. He's missed quite a bit of this season with the injury problems. Bernard to Poynton. Olney. It's quite interesting to see Neil Adams' role tonight. Whenever we've seen them lately, he's been used in a wide right role, but he seems to be playing just behind the front two tonight. And here he is. Ritchie's up for support. Player really is full of confidence at the moment, Adams, and that sometimes is in short supply with players of teams down towards the bottom of the table. Haller. It's only fallen for Bernard here, and Mustoe gets there first. Hendry and Wilkinson combining quite neatly. A bit of a misunderstanding there, but at least Hendry can pick it up. Seeing a lot of the ball, John Hendry. Good work from him again here. He's really putting himself about in the Middlesbrough cause tonight, is John Hendry. Ritchie. Adams. Cool as you like from him, and, well, the foul was given. Curtis Fleming, the alleged offender there. But, wasn't too happy about it. I can't say I saw too much wrong with that, but there you go. The ref's closer than I am.
Yeah, I think it can only be a little nudge here. You see, he's just hooking him a little bit. But as you say, there's not an awful lot there.
Poynton, well, it could have been a Steve Staunton-style screamer into the far corner. As it was, it hooked away like a bad goal shot.
Well, you don't see many of them, I think, Steve Staunton-type shots into that corner from there. But certainly Joe Royle will be the happier, in my opinion, of the two managers at this moment. The one thing he will want is, with all the good possession that they've had, Oldham, they really haven't threatened Ian Ironside very much at all, Ian, and that would be the one worrying cause.
Milligan to Poynton again, who gives Oldham a bit of width down that left-hand side. Henry. Fleming is dispossessed. Milligan knocking this forward. Now Olney. And, well, Ian Olney is short of goals. He hasn't scored for the last 11 games, and Oldham's record signing Derek White here, the man who's shadowing him.
He was a little bit slow, Ian Olney, to get onto that through ball from Mike Milligan.
You had him at Villa, of course. Poynton's long throw. Jobson looking for the knock-on. And that's a corner for Oldham Athletic, which I believe is their first. Don't write in to complain if I'm wrong, it is. Adams is going to take it. Men on the near post for a possible flick on, but he goes long with it. Jobson's there dangerously, and there was some pushing on the goalkeeper, Ian Ironside.
Yeah, Andy Ritchie, the culprit here. He takes his position at the back post, and just watch as Ironside decides to come and make it his. Watch Andy Ritchie there, that's where he gives a free. Goes up early. You know, I sometimes wonder that referees are a little bit kind and a little bit quick, but Andy Ritchie went up very early, as he's entitled to do.
White. Can't find a way through. Henry coming in, but a free kick's given. Nicky Moen's going to take it. He didn't get hold of that correctly at all, Moen. So I can only feel he must have slipped as he took that.
One of the things that Oldham have done better in this first half hour as we approach the half-hour mark is the use of the way they've used the full-backs. We remarked early on how they've had three narrow in midfield, both sides, so that's meant there's been lots of space wide. But what Oldham have done better than Hallett and Poynton have been willing to go in and join their base as an attacking force, whereas I think Fleming and Phillips stay back in the back four.
It's good play by Adams, feeding Paul Bernard, who's found a bit of space, the Scottish under-21 international. And again an intelligent ball to find Olney, who's given it away to Musto there. Momentum of the attack just lost, but here's Poynton. More controlled look about Oldham's football so far, but as Andy's been telling you, it's been possession without punch.
As we've talked about right at the beginning, it's not about how well you play when you're down there. It's at the end of the day, who's picked up the 3 points.
Adams again. Poynton, here's Olney. Holds it up quite well this time. The cross, and in space there was Bernard! And Oldham Athletic have stolen the lead.
Well, the pressure certainly that they've had, you can't say they've not been deserving it. It's the first real time that they've got anything on target, and they owe a lot to Ian Olney. Lovely check back, produces a fantastic cross. Bernard pulls away, totally free at the back post, and he gives Ironside absolutely no chance. This is an excellent header, not easy. Look at the power he gets in his neck muscles there. Gives Ironside no chance.
Oldham Athletic strike first here. And you have to say, really, on what we've seen so far, they've deserved it. Joe Royle is going to be pleased about that. Lenny Lawrence, I think, will be furious about the marking at the back post. It's empty there at the moment. Lenny's probably somewhere up in the stand. There he is, he's down there now, and more problems. His defence have been giving away far, far too many goals. And that was another, really, where Bernard was just left with a free header. Poynton. Henry making a run from midfield. Oldham, who've only won once away in the Premier League all year, that was at Ipswich. There'll be an injury stoppage here. Let's have a look at that goal again, Andy. Look at the marking here on the back post.
Yeah, he didn't really do an awful lot, Paul Bernard, when you watch it again as the cross comes in. He just drifts away. And he's left, as you say, totally free. But it isn't an easy header, Ian, and not got a lot of space, but look at the accuracy of it. And I don't think Willie Faulkner, the number 10 there, will be too pleased. You know, Willie's a big lad, he's 6 foot plus, and he just allowed Paul Bernard to just drift it off his shoulder and allow him a completely free header. So he'll be disappointed.
Now, the last time Bernard scored was when Oldham Athletic won away at Ipswich. So is that some kind of omen for Joe Royle's side? Just a youngster, he's been left out of the side a bit lately. He was only sub on Saturday. He comes back with what could be an absolutely priceless goal tonight. White gets this one away.
Well, I don't think that Joe Royle would be that confident in his defence this year to think that one goal would possibly be enough, Ian. I think when you think you haven't kept a clean sheet in the league away from Boundary Park this year, there's certainly plenty incentive for Middlesbrough to keep going, isn't there?
Faulkner has not kept that in on the far side. Well, there certainly has been a bit of an insipid look about Middlesbrough so far. There's a kind of a lack of passion about their play. That's how it looks from this distant perch, but it could all be to do with confidence, I guess.
I think it's nerves, as I say. They looked very nervy from the first minute, and Oldham have pounced on it, to be fair, because they've looked the totally opposite. They've looked very relaxed, very confident. They've all wanted to get on the ball, they've wanted to pass it about, and that's been the feature of this first half hour.
as well in the end, but that's going to be a 50-50 challenge, which Peak wins and sets Tommy right away. Now this could be something for Middlesbrough. Can they strike back here? Here's the cross. Wilkinson closing in, and Gerrard is up, and his handling was superb.
Good claim. Very good claim by the youngster. It's a decent ball in, makes his mind up. This is mine. Eyes on it. Catch is perfect.
Fleming is here for Middlesbrough. Ritchie for company.
One thing I'd like to see Middlesbrough do is get little Tommy Wright on the ball a little bit more. I'm never convinced about Gunnar Haller as a defensive fullback. I think he's great going forward because his teams have lots of problems in, but I think defensively he's not the best in the world, and little Tommy Wright's very
Bernard's here again, and he nearly stole in with a decisive header on the near post.
I think he gets the header, doesn't he? As you see, he makes a great run, he attacks the near post. I think he gets there and it just comes off Jimmy Phillips and goes for a corner.
Well, the runs of young Paul Bernard are causing Middlesbrough's defence some problems. 4-2 now. Well, Oldham have come here tonight and they've passed the ball around and they've come up with a very significant goal. And now here's Neil Adams with the corner for them. Again he goes for the long one, aimed towards Jobson, who gets there, and it's gone in. It's gone in. Only might have got a touch to it on the way through, but it was Jobson's header originally, and this is crisis now for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Richard Jobson gets a great header. He'd only certainly wheeled away, claiming that he gets a touch on it, but he's got that good position just in front of the goalkeeper. If you get there, there's always a chance. Don't know if he gets much on that, but look at him, he's away. He's a striker, he's claiming it. Might just get his toe on the end of this one. This is all about Jobson's ability in the air. That's a little touch, I think there was, and only wheels away.
I think that's one where we're going to have to ask the Oldham camp at half-time. Let's have a look. Does he get a touch, Andy?
Difficult to say, but I think he must have done.
Now here's Hendry. Come back to Musto. Middlesbrough badly need a goal now. They've really been stung, and Oldham are in the box seat at 2-0 here, and if they win this one, they climb above Middlesbrough in the dreaded danger zone. Now then, Peak here. Wilkinson making a run forward. Here is Wilkinson. And Fleming, very cool, but his fast touch let him down there. He nearly let him right. It was nearly a nightmare for the defender.
Well, you just get your second goal. The one thing you don't do is take any chances in your own defence. Craig Fleming did that and almost paid the penalty.
That was almost composure taken to ridiculous proportions. Here's the corner. Flicked in there, is this going to go in? The shot in the end by White was sliced, but Oldham get away with it.
Just get away with it, don't they? It's not going for him, you can see that. But it was a lovely corner. Touch is great, and you really need to get someone on the end of it there. You see Wilkinson's only inches away from getting contact.
Derek White at the final chance, and Wilkinson's closing on this. Gerrard's dropped it, and is there a free kick given? There is, for the push on the goalkeeper. Wilkinson is not very happy about it.
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a free kick. It comes from a long way, Paul Wilkinson. Keeper's just standing there, and I think you see there he just jumps totally straight into him. No arguments about the decision there, he can have.
Even Andy will concede that one. A man who made a challenge or two like that himself.
Never.
Joe Royal. Well, can Oldham get out of it at the bottom? They've been in last place for a month or so, and they've been in the dreaded danger zone for even longer than that.
What you do have to concede that certainly in this first half that Joe Royal's got it spot on. At a time when managers down in the bottom, I think, really have to work to earn their money. Joe Royal's picked a tactical formation here that for 37 minutes has worked perfectly for him.
Oldham leading by 2-0 as Jobson takes the free kick towards Ritchie, gets a little flick on. Away by White, back in though by Milligan. White again, and then Andy Peake. Pushing by Hendry, I think it was.
What Middlesbrough found difficult to cope with has been a very good movement from Oldham's midfield trio plus Neil Adams. I think the four of them really have given them some problems.
Fleming up towards Olney. Well, I'll argue about that second goal. Was it Olney's or was it Jobson's? I think morally it was probably Jobson's, but that may not be the answer. We'll let you know at half-time.
What have morals got to do with it? You're a striker, he's a centre-back.
Well, I wouldn't argue with him, not at that height. Richie. Richie again. His experience has been quite vital. Milligan with a little header, and he's nearly dropping through here. Oh, and Jobson on the far post. Now, he definitely didn't score there.
I don't think Ian Olney will be claiming this miss, do you? But it's Olney who goes in there. It's a great ball in from Boyton. Lovely position from Milligan. Super little touch. Olney doesn't manage to get anything on it, and Jobson doesn't get enough on it.
It certainly was a defender's finish, which the previous one by Jobson wasn't.
But look at Milligan's position. The lovely little deft touch there that causes all the confusion.
Milligan again.
Really now, Ian, it's all about holding on for Middlesbrough, I think, to half-time. They daren't lose another goal now. They've just got to steady it a little bit, just lock up shop at the back and get to half-time, and Lenny Lawrence then, I feel sure, might be prepared to change one or two things. I think the formation he's picked hasn't quite worked for them, and I just wonder if he'll revert back to a more familiar one with the two wide men and actually put John Henry wide in the second half. Sure, it's something to be thinking about.
Dropping through here for Wright, maybe. And then Hendry, and Gerrard gets there. Important save from the youngster.
Well, his handling's been excellent with crosses tonight, but that was an excellent save from a goalkeeper on his line. I don't think John Henry quite gets what he would have wanted on this, as it just drops to him. Chokes into the ground a little bit, and that gives the goalkeeper enough time to get a good hand on it.
It's going to be an Oldham free kick. That was interesting, that shot of Lenny Lawrence just now. He looked like the bloke in the cigar advert, didn't he? What more can go wrong? Some games coming up on Sky Sports for you. The one to look forward to, Turkey against England in the World Cup. Key game that, of course, live at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you're at work, don't worry, we'll have you the highlights for you, 8 o'clock in the evening. Turkey against England in the World Cup. Of course, next weekend, a blank weekend in the Premier League in preparation for the international. Fleming is across there again. Now Poynton. And they keep on hitting balls, Oldham, down into that little area in the left channel for men to make diagonal runs and try and pick it up and make something.
And they keep getting midfield players forward as well. In that case, it was again one of the goal scorers, Bernard, who was driving forward into the forward area.
Jobson, free kick. Last 5 minutes of the first half. Oldham Athletic really have had a dream start to this one. Calla has given this to Jimmy Phillips. A goal for Middlesbrough before the break might put a completely different complexion on events with the second half to come. That looked like a foul on Wright, and Calla's the man responsible for it.
See, that's an area, in all honesty, I would be looking to get the ball into. You know, Tommy Wright's basically been starved a bit in the first half. He hasn't been given much service to talk about at all.
Phillips and Wright trying to cook up something. Phillips's cross is not right. Oldham can counter again here. Henry trying to win it, and he was fouled. And Oldham will have a free kick. Well, I'm sure Lenny Lawrence would love to get his Middlesbrough players in the dressing room to give them fresh instructions and fresh heart, maybe.
Yeah, I think there'll be some tough talking from Lenny when he gets his boys in there. He certainly won't be happy with his team's first half performance.
As well as lacking a wee bit of firepower, Middlesbrough have looked hesitant and nervous at the back, and Oldham have had more than the two chances from which they've created goals. Ian Olney and Richard Jobson can argue about that goal, but he's had so long without a goal that tried taking it off him. Now Peak. Here's Haller. That'll do as far as Oldham are concerned. Henry appeared to be brought down off the ball there. Play on, says the referee. Adams feeding it wide to Poynton. This is a promising position again for Oldham. Henry's made a run forward. Long towards Ritchie, but too close to Ironside.
Well, that's a little example about what I mean in the difference there. As soon as it broke, who was the furthest man forward breaking the opposite side? Neil Poynton.
Middlesbrough 0, Oldham Athletic 2. Right on the volley.
Well, it was ambitious from little Tommy Wright, but he's seen so little of the ball. I'm not surprised he's attempting things like this, but had this gone in, that really would have been a surprise.
It was no immediate threat to Paul Gerrard's goal, in all honesty, from Tommy Wright, who comes from a footballing family. I think his uncle was Jackie Sinclair, the old Leicester winger, and his dad was a Scottish international, so it's in the blood. Falconer getting this one forward towards Wilkinson. But Jobson, who is brought down there by Falconer, who may go in the book for this. Yeah, I think he's going to, Andy.
Yeah, it's a certainty. But a measure of the confidence that Oldham are playing with when Richard Jobson casually brings it down, and instead of playing it now, he's just taking it out of defence on his own.
Falconer is booked for that one. Well, Oldham's form, you know, hasn't been too bad lately. They got that 2-2 draw at Everton with 2 late goals. They beat Manchester United. They only lost by a goal at Norwich. And then the 2-2 draw with Queen's Park Rangers. Only 1 defeat in the last 4 and 2-0 up here. Signs of a revival, maybe, for the Latics of Oldham Athletic. Poynton to take it. Here's Milligan. Haller. Challenges by Mustoe. Poynton again. Ritchie. Not doing anything spectacular, has provided some nice little touches. Jobson's on the far post here, going for the header, as he did for the goal. Paid a big compliment to Richard Jobson earlier in the season by Graham Taylor, the England manager, who said he was the most comfortable defender on the ball in English football. That's the last action of the first half. Jobson may well claim that second goal. We'll sort that out for you. It might have been Ian Olney. Paul Bernard certainly scored the first one, and Oldham, in this crucial battle at the bottom of the table, getting the reward for some controlled football. It's Middlesbrough 0, Oldham Athletic 2. Can Middlesbrough come back? Find out when you rejoin us.
Welcome back to the Monday Night Football. We'll check out the match facts in a moment or so and hear from Dave Bassett. First of all, it's in smashing match so far, which just goes to show they are worth covering these games, aren't they? Dave Bassett, the Sheffield United manager, is our guest. Let's have a look back at the best of the action. Paul Bernard scored the opening goal, and Oldham, Dave, you sensed were worthy.
They were coming back
due
into
this at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, they had weathered the early storm from Middlesbrough, and they were coming back into the game now, and their confidence was building, and they've done well here. It's a good cross. Olney does well on the ball. He looks as if he was going to cross the ball first time. He comes back, and Bernard's pulled away off of Willie Faulkner, and he's put a very good header away. The goalkeeper doesn't have much chance there.
Richie's gone near post, hasn't he?
That's right. There we are. He comes back. The ball's there. Faulkner's stayed in there, and he's got a little header down. He's put it away very, very well. I mean, just the tonic that Oldham needed at that stage. It was their real first effort at goal. As you can see, Olney looks as if he's going to cross it with his left foot and checks back onto his right. Defender doesn't do too particularly well there, and everybody's watching the ball. And Bernard, I mean, he hasn't had to pull off too much, but he's far enough away just to put the ball around the corner.
Wasn't a bad header, was it?
No, very good header. You know, quite powerful and in the corner in the right spot where the goalkeeper has very little chance of adjusting to it.
Apparently they're still arguing in the Oldham dressing room about who scored the second. Let's see if we can tidy it up here. Who do you think, Dave?
Well, I think you've got to give it to Olney. He's in, he goes in. Again, not very good marking on the corner. Jobson gets a good header down. It's in there. And, well, I think he would claim that. And the goalkeeper finds it difficult there. The ball's headed back into that danger area, the 6-yard box. Olney's done well. He's in front of the defender and the goalkeeper. And it's hard for the goalkeeper to gather the ball there. And really wasn't what Middlesbrough wanted at that stage. But having said that, you know, Oldham were delighted, and it settled them for the rest of the half. I don't think there's any doubt that Ian Olney's going to claim that.
Yes, if he hadn't been there, you fancy the keeper would have...
Oh yes, he'd have got that, yeah, if Olney hadn't have been there. So, I mean, his presence actually put the goalkeeper and defender off.
Now, you were saying as the half wore on, what Middlesbrough needed was either a strike before half-time, or they will need one. They nearly got back in it with this effort here.
That's right, they needed badly to get back into the game, Middlesbrough, to give them the confidence. And I mean, certainly they'll have to do that in the second half. It's a long free kick from the keeper. It's a bit of a mix-up, and they have a little bit of luck because it drops to Faulkner, who heads it in, and it's a fair effort by Henry there, and the goalkeeper brings off quite a good save.
You still fancy Middlesbrough to get something, don't you? And if that happens, we have got a game and a half then.
Yeah, well, the win's with Middlesbrough now, and Middlesbrough have got to come out and give it the full Monty, as they say. And Oldham are pushing both their fullbacks. They've been very attacking-minded tonight. They've come with a positive attitude, but I fancy Middlesbrough might get a goal. 2-0
to Oldham at the moment. More from Ayresome Park after the break. Sumos are on the way, and as you can see, they'll entertain the crowd. Keep us warm on a very cold night. Welcome back to the Monday Night Football. Middlesbrough 0, Oldham Athletic 2, the half-time scoreline. Sumos, as usual, are going down very well. This is the first you've seen of the Sumos, is it, Dave?
Yeah, since they've been around ground. Seeing a couple of these, I might sign one of these before the deadline to play out front with Dino.
That would sort of problem out, wouldn't it? Now, what do we expect in this second half? Middlesbrough, you were saying during that break there to me, have to strike early now.
Yes, they've got to get back into the game, and their confidence will be low. They've got the win with them, and they've got to look to get a goal back, and that gives them a lot to play for then. Oldham will be looking to continue in the vein they've done and catch Middlesbrough on the break and possibly add a third. That is the danger now, really. It could end up 3-0 if Middlesbrough are not careful.
You think Oldham will keep pushing for the third?
Yeah, I think they will, because I think that's the way they play. But I think there will be 1 or 2 chances come Middlesbrough away. What's important for them, which they don't do in the second half, which they did in the first half, I felt that the 3 forward runners were giving too many free kicks away when they got up in and around the Oldham penalty area.
Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Ian Dark.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, everybody. There's a substitution at half-time, predictably enough, by Middlesbrough. This young fellow, Craig Hignett, the £500,000 buy from Crewe Alexandra, is on. Robbie Mustoe is off, and they hope that Hignett can come up with a goal or 2. He's struggled, Lenny Lawrence was telling me, to adapt to the pace of the Premier League. That's why he's been in and out of the side, but he is quite a talented player, and he does know the way to goal. And Middlesbrough getting us underway, 2 goals down. And if they lose this one, things will start to look very bleak indeed for them. Oldham, if they can hold on, will move out of the bottom 3 for the first time since mid-January. They're playing against a stiffening breeze now, though, Oldham. Here's Tommy Wright. I would think that Middlesbrough have had a good old-fashioned roasting at half-time from Lenny Lawrence. They'll be looking for an early goal. Hendry. Good positive run from him. He goes a long way. He goes down in the box. No penalty. Now only for Oldham. White coming forward. Hendry once again, and an offside flag anyway against Wilkinson in the middle, but not that it mattered too much.
No, no surprise as you say that they change. I did suggest that they may revert back to a more familiar style. That's what they've done. Henry and Tommy Wright now playing wide. Tommy Wright on this near side, John Henry on the left, and I think he'll try and get it to Henry as often as possible to Akgunahala, who's actually struggling at the moment. He's got picked up a bit of an injury on his first challenge against John Henry. But the one question mark for me will be, against Oldham, will be, with this stiffening breeze, as you suggested, Ian, can they get out, or will they camp on the edge of their box? That'll be the thing to watch for, how quickly they can get out and put some pressure on Middlesbrough.
Let's get a touchline report from Nick Collins, who has some news for us.
Ian, well, let's try and clear up that goal first of all. Ian Olney definitely claiming it, though Richard Jobson isn't entirely convinced that he got a touch on it. But Ian Olney, as far as he's concerned, that's a goal for him. And just to let you know what the Middlesbrough team talk was at half-time, Lenny Lawrence says that Borough need better crosses into the Oldham box, and they need to defend their crosses better. That's been the difference between the two sides, he thinks.
Lenny Lawrence has been in more great escapes than Richard Attenborough and Steve McQueen combined, of course, in his Charlton days, but it might be a fight again this time. Well, it is a fight. It's right. Phillips. Hignett, the substitute, is brought down. And getting into a bad-tempered exchange there with Fleming. And more argy-bargy between those two off the ball, by the way, as the ball is pumped in. And no threat again from Moen this time.
I think the scene's been set for the second half. I think Middlesbrough have got to take risks, got to gamble, got to throw men forward. And without Oldham's defensive ability and just what they can do when they break out of defence. But look at the strength of the wind area we're talking about. Paul Bernard can't even take a goal kick.
Yes, we had a real icy blast from the North Sea at half-time with rain sweeping across the pitch, and you can see, look there, that Gerrard can't get the goal kick anywhere near the halfway line. Hignett closing in on this. Fleming wants Gerrard off his line, and eventually he's there.
So at times like this, when defences, back fours have to be brave. And by that I mean they have to push up and take normal defensive positions. And I think you can do that and be confident that anything over the top will most surely run through to your goalkeeper or run out of play. But if you decide to camp on the edge of your box, then you can invite pressure continuously in the half.
Yes, there's always that temptation to sit on it a bit, but sometimes, and I've seen it countless times, it can backfire on you. Falconer getting past the challenge, and the shot is no threat at all to the Oldham goal. Willie Falconer, who was booked in the first half. By the way, on the run in, Middlesbrough have home games against Everton, Arsenal, Spurs and Norwich on the last day. That could be a vital game, couldn't it? They're away to Chelsea, Palace in another six-pointer, and Sheffield Wednesday. Though they do play Arsenal 2 days after their FA Cup semi-final. That might be a decent time to play them. Saying too, that game against Sheffield Wednesday away is a week after the League Cup final. Flicked on by Adams. There's much more confidence and swagger about Oldham than one has seen from them so far this season. Middlesbrough needs something, and fast. Fleming down the line for Tommy Wright, who's hugging this right-hand touchline at the start of the second half. He's allowed space for the cross, maybe too much space, but it's a goal kick.
But this is where the danger for Oldham is going to come, from the wide areas, from Wright and from Henry. And it's Craig Hignett trying to get in there and just gets a little too much in his header. We remarked and complimented Joe Royle on his tactical selection in the first half. And I just wonder whether he's going to be tempted soon to change it if the wide men get some joy, because he's now got four very tight in this midfield area. Perhaps to give his fullbacks a little help, it might be worthwhile, I'm just saying, to Adams and either Bernard or Henry, then go and play wide and just a normal midfield four.
Phillips through to Wilkinson. Again, nothing for Middlesbrough. But I think Oldham expect to have to absorb fairly heavy pressure and maybe increasingly feverish pressure as the half goes on from a pretty desperate Middlesbrough now, who find themselves 2-0 down here at home. Now here's Nicky Henry, a little scouser in the midfield. Adams. Bernard was in a lot of room there forward if they could have found him. Now Middlesbrough though. Tommy Wright on the left foot. Into the middle, aim towards Wilkinson again. Jobson is there for Oldham. Fleming. Good run from the fullback. Hignett. No room for the shot. Hignett really putting himself about there with Poynton, and here's the cross. Offside flag was up on the far side.
Yeah, Paul Wilkinson had just drifted in, but this is exactly the type of response we would have wanted. Lenny Lawrence just suddenly seemed to be an extra competitive edge, an extra desire from the Middlesbrough players to get back in the game.
No doubt with Lenny Lawrence's half-time team talk ringing still in their ears, he would have demanded much more urgency and passion from them and reminded them that their Premier Division status could be at stake. Challenged by Falconer, wins it for Wright, who's becoming more involved, in the cross looked quite inviting until Fleming got there for Oldham. Poynton getting it away, and Oldham just cannot keep possession at the moment. They're pinned in their own half. Peake getting this one forward. Wilkinson on the turn. Major battle between Wilkinson here and Jobson, one of the key areas of the match. This time Moen pumping it forward. And towards Wilkinson again. Jobson gets there. Adams. Andy Ritchie holding it up well and retaining possession. But now Middlesbrough have the chance to break with red shirts pushing forward. And White it is with the rising drive.
Wow, a super run there from Derek White. Took the initiative, the gap's in front of him, and he doesn't turn it down. Just gets a little bit underneath it. I'm looking at Joe Royle. He's been off the bench there, and he's had Neil Adams, and I think he's doing what I suggested he might do. He's pulled Neil Adams, and he's certainly pulled him to the wide right area. I just wonder how long it will be, and it looks like Nicky Henry is now moving over to this near side. And I think that makes sense to me. You have to try and stop the service to the wide men, because that's what Middlesbrough are looking for.
Well, that free kick was taken a good 4 yards ahead of where the offence occurred, but Calvin Morton keeping the game going. Well, Neil Adams, who scored his first ever league goal for Stoke against Middlesbrough early in his career. Henry forging away here. Fleming won it well. Moen forward. Here's Wright. Middlesbrough buzzing a little bit, looking to create something. Up goes Wilkinson for the header. Good downward header. Milligan got it away. And it could fall here for Falconer, but no, because Milligan was there again. And Henry, good play from him. Looks up to see what support is around. He can switch it right. Just telegraphed it a bit, and Moen was in there. And Fleming did a good job again there for Oldham. The youngster is keeping Steve Redmond out of the side in the number 6 shirt. Now Peake breaking from the midfield. And again, Fleming across. Well, he'd be a contender for man of the match if you were having the poll now. Neil Poynton, who was dropped for a time and then injured in that Sheffield United match. Fleming's long throw. Wilkinson trying to win it, but Jobson out-jumps him. Crucial period of the game, you feel this, particularly for Oldham with the 2-goal cushion, which they will desperately want to retain. If Middlesbrough get one, it really could be like the Alamo in that penalty area.
I think it'll be like that no matter how long they stay, even at 2-0, and I think they've just got to throw men forward. Tell you who's got a vital job for Oldham in the second half, the 2 front men. And by that I mean that when Oldham are clearing their lines, that it's up to Ritchie and Olney to give their defence a breather, to hold on to the ball, to protect it with their lives basically.
Wilkinson wins this one well. Well won by Hallow, who seems to be over that little knock he took. Phillips, Middlesbrough, aided by this wind whipping in off the North Sea. Will their natural habitat come to their aid in a time of crisis? Middlesbrough's free kick. It's long, and Gerrard under pressure once again from the marauding Wilkinson.
That's probably what Lenny Lawrence is talking about, though. This one again is a little bit too near the goalkeeper. Gives him the chance to come out and take what would have been a comfortable catch without the challenge of Wilkinson.
And of course, all those free kicks like that are being blown into an in-swinging arc by the wind. Fleming, easy one for Poynton. And Oldham don't hold it up in the way that Andy was talking about. White, good ball for Hignett. And away importantly by Haller before Henry could break through.
That's exactly what I meant, Ian. Ian only had the ball, and if they don't hold it, if they don't protect it well, then the defence is immediately under pressure again. But they've done it much better this time.
Again, another nice little touch by Andy Ritchie, helping to get this attack going for Oldham. He's done a very unspectacular but solid little job for Oldham tonight, Andy Ritchie. Good to see him back. Jobson wins this one in the air. Peake getting it forward. Hignett's chasing. Andy Peake, who was in the same Leicester side as Gary Lineker and has been a kind of first lieutenant for Lenny Lawrence through quite a bit of his career, notably in the Charlton era, when Charlton perennially escaped the drop by miraculous means. Middlesbrough, should they lose this, may be in need of similar types of miracles. Though there is a bit of a way to go yet. On the run in. Taken quickly here. And between them, the Middlesbrough defence crowding Oldham out. Keep getting this forward. It nearly went over the head of Poynton. Hignett was in behind him. Here's Moen. Poynton for Oldham. He's going to go it alone. Really good positive break by Poynton. And he was looking for Ritchie's run, but Ritchie was offside. But Neil Poynton here having a fine game. The former Manchester City man. A lot of the Manchester City fans are sorry to see him leave. And with runs like this, you can see why.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen him go on, Neil Poynton there. He had a fine head of steam up. Really could have attacked Derek White.
Still Oldham leading by 2-0 as the hour approaches now. Middlesbrough's early assaults in the second half have been repelled. You can almost feel the tension around here at the bottom of the table. The Middlesbrough fans quiet, anxious. Derek White, former Celtic man, current Scottish international, had that shot just now. Hendry with those bow legs of his trying to find a way through. Here's Hignett trying his luck, and not a bad try. Wind assisted too.
Oh, that's a great effort from Craig Hignett. Not much backlift, didn't have an awful lot of room to move. You see that? It's tied up between his feet there. And he's just leaning back slightly as he makes contact with the ball. John Henry was the one who instigated it all, but a fine run though. I still think that's the way for Middlesbrough with John Henry and Tommy Wright. If they can get the ball to those two wide men, that looks the most likely area where a goal comes from.
Nick flicking this on, hoping for Wilkinson. And Jobson as cool as you like. I think one of the key things for Oldham tonight has been how well the two central defenders have played, Jobson and Fleming. And well, this season defence has been a major problem for Oldham Athletic, the leakiest defence in the Premier League. But it has been improving a bit lately. Ritchie, Adams, Milligan making the run from midfield, no one across doing the covering. Oldham Athletic snipping out and scenting what would be only their second away win of the entire season. Haller, and offside, probably three of them in the end.
Anyone from free, take your pick.
A three-card trick.
It's close. If you look at that right side of your screen, Curtis Fleming there. I think he's very relieved actually to see the flag go up.
It was either three or none, wasn't it, Andy? Hit long this time. Jobson taking responsibility. Jimmy Phillips. Good little ball in for Peake, who lets it run intelligently. Now Fleming's got a chance of a shot. And it's well worth having shots really from that kind of range, because the shots are being given extra velocity by this wind.
I think you're right, and anything that along this sort of area, then they must take the option to hit the target. But that's the one thing they haven't done. 3 times they've tried it in the second half. Not once have they tested the goalkeeper.
He's never scored for Middlesbrough yet, Curtis Fleming, but well, I guess there's a first time for everything. Phillips is across for Middlesbrough. Phillips on by Peake, only to Jobson. And Gunnar Haller slicing it into touch on that far side. Oldham, of course, who've been cast really as the lovable Latics, a humble side from below stairs who've had an adventure in the big league, but can they carry on with the adventure? Sentiment is usually in short supply at this stage of the season. Milligan, nice ball that for Henry. Here's Poynton. Looking for support. Olney's making a diagonal run if he wants to use him. Middlesbrough try route one this time, and you can see how strong that wind is, Andy.
And that's what I mean about defence, is if you're brave and you push up there, you see how it just runs straight at the goalkeeper. But being brave and pushing up, it's easy to say from here, Ian. It's far more difficult to do if you're the two centre-backs of Oldham.
Milligan and Henry combining. And scrap the possession, but Milligan there did well. Good pass through the ball and finding Adams. Adams, who's been Oldham Athletic's saviour a bit of late, with the winner against Manchester United, the 2 late goals against Everton, and the last-minute equaliser against Queen's Park Rangers at the weekend as well. He's buzzing a bit. Here he is now. Haller. And Phillips for Middlesbrough, who still can't find the breakthrough. Hendry. He's worked harder than most trying to engineer it. Here he is again. Oldham doing their defensive job well again. Phillips. Adams hooking it away. Nice that's a good ball. Tommy Wright here, and Jobson is across again with a marvellously timed challenge.
Well, he's got the responsibility of Paul Wilkinson, but he showed there he's got the experience as well of sizing up a situation.
Flicked on by Falconer. Where's this going to drop? Wilkinson can't reach it. Bernard, who scored the important first goal. Ooh, Fleming sold himself a bit there and let Olney in behind him. Well, that was a good challenge back by him. Henry, Bernard. Moen doing the covering for Middlesbrough. Don't forget vital games coming up as well at the bottom later in the week, with Sheffield United away at Coventry and Nottingham Forest travelling to Southampton on Wednesday night. Sheffield United will be in the bottom three by then. Whatever result tonight, they were consigned to that fate, at least for 48 hours. Dave Bassett, of course, among our guests. We'll be hearing from him a bit later. Fleming's long throw is aimed towards Wilkinson. Won by Poynton. Peek back in.
I think the time has come for another substitution here, and I see Chris Kamara making his way to the edge of the pitch.
Looks like Kamara will be entering the fray at any moment. Middlesbrough have to try something different. They still really haven't seriously tested Paul Gerrard in the second half, despite having, well, 90% of the possession, really. Or pressure, anyway. Adams. And that's gone out of play, and it's a chance for the substitution, and it's Andy Peake, I think, who's going to have to come off. Indeed it is, and Chris Kamara, 35 years of age and on loan from Luton Town. The 8th move of his career, by the way. I'd like to be his estate agent. He comes on, utility player Kamara. It'll be interesting to see how he's deployed. There's his first touch.
Well, it'll be a straight swap, I think, Ian. Nothing but just coming in for Andy Peake. But what, I tell you, not a bad lad to bring on if you're looking to fire up your team for a final surge and a last push. Then he certainly is capable of getting his men going, Chris Kamara.
Bad moments for Lenny Lawrence at the moment. The side in search of some kind of salvation here, but they have, what is it, 22 minutes to find it.
The Oldham look more comfortable now than they have looked in this second half. They altered the shape. I mean, the shape they took for the first half was great. It got them the 2-goal lead. And Middlesbrough were never quite able to cope with it. But Joe Royal, credit him, he changed it. He was quick enough in the second half to change the shape of his side and go a little bit more defensively, protect his full-backs with 2 wide men. And that certainly made him a happier man, isn't it?
At least he can smile amid all the tension of the relegation battle. But there may still be time for Middlesbrough. If they could get one, certainly make the last 20 minutes very, very tense and dramatic indeed. As it is, Oldham hold on, but now a free kick, and the 2 subs are the ones hovering by the ball. It looks like it's going to be Hignett who'll hit it. Here he is. Hignett takes it, and now he's screwed that really off the outside of his boot. A long, long way wide of Paul Gerrard's goal. Well, they've had plenty of shots, Andy, but they just can't find the target. They can't bring the keeper into action.
No, they can't, and that's been the thing from them second half. They've looked willing. They've wanted to shoot, they've wanted to get Paul Gerrard into the game in some way, but they've not been able to test the young goalkeeper at all.
Phillips, Hendry, Kamara with the diagonal run, has not kept the ball in play. Let's have a look at the number of shots so far. Middlesbrough have had 11, Oldham have had 6. And of course, Oldham lead by 2-0, as if you needed reminding.
I bet of those 11, about one's been on target though, and that's been the important stat.
Jobson there again. And you can see why Graham Taylor's been impressed with him. There's the shots on target, Andy.
Yeah, that's right, 1 out of 11 on target, and that's what's let them down tonight.
This was a key game, really, for both of these clubs, of course. If Middlesbrough had won it, they'd have been 5 points clear of Oldham, and that might have been decisive in the relegation fight. As it is, Oldham, if they keep it like this, will leapfrog above Middlesbrough.
There's a lot left in this game for Middlesbrough, but there's no reason why they should think they still can't win it. I know it may sound crazy, but all they need, I think, 1 goal for them would suddenly, the crowd would be up, the players would be up, and that's what they're looking for, just a 1 little break.
Tommy Wright! And it was another chance, really, to test the goalkeeper, and another chance not taken.
Yeah, he gets himself in there, and he manages to get turned on the ball. He is pressed very quickly by Jobson, and that's probably what made him screw it wide.
Yes, if Middlesbrough, you feel, got 1, would that set a few alarm bells ringing in the Oldham defence, and it would certainly get the crowd on their feet. As it is, the crowd are just chewing their fingernails, and they might not have many left come May the 8th. That's how tense it is. And the seats now abound around Ayresome Park. Best crowd they've had here this season was for the visit of Newcastle, surprise, surprise, in the Coca-Cola. 24,000. Here they are again. Still no way through. This time Kamara. Fleming. Hignett trying to get in here. And Jobson cool enough. Poynton. Nino, as the Oldham players call him, I understand. And there he is again. Falconer's ball. And an offside flag. It's just total frustration for Middlesbrough at the moment. They came up before, and in 88-89 they went down. Here's the offside.
Yeah, he's just anxious to get forward, Craig Hignett, and he just goes a little bit too early.
Moen. And a push on Wilkinson means Middlesbrough's free kick.
It's been a good battle all night, that, hasn't it, Ian? Jobson and Wilkinson.
It has, and here's Falconer closing in. Wilkinson's there as well. Gerrard has to punch it. Still not away. Gerrard again. Fists it to safety this time. Drops to Kamara. And could this be a goal? It isn't this time. And Gerrard down again. Jimmy Phillips had stormed forward from the back.
It's a great ball from Chris Kamara, it really was. I mean, great confusion here. Twice the goalkeeper's called, and Wilkinson makes a great challenge. But look at Gerrard's up again and punches it clear, but it's this little ball here as it breaks to Chris Kamara. Watch the way he just picks out Jimmy Phillips. Doesn't look like he wants to shoot, but when he calls the goalkeeper into action, he's found to be big enough to cope with it.
Chris Kamara trying to work something now, fashion some chances for Middlesbrough. They haven't been able to create many, but this young goalkeeper's done very well. He's started the season as number 3, of course, and injuries to Holworth and Keeley at some times as well has bled him in. Here is Kamara once again, this time to Fleming. More defending for Oldham to do, and get a corner here, Middlesbrough. Wright's corner. And very good defensive header by Fleming. Or was it Bernard? Bernard it was, who got back to get that header in. Kamara. Phillips. Good flick by Falconer. Wilkinson can't get there because Fleming hammers it away deep into those fans on the far terracing. Oldham now are 15 minutes away from what would be 3 precious, priceless points for them. And the cross shot from Derek White, who'd stormed forward from the back.
Well, they took Andy Ritchie completely by surprise, Derek White, here with this run. And he's not so far away with this shot, I tell you. But again, it's that thing in the second half. They're not hitting the target often enough.
Derek White, who arrived in the £1.6 million deal, which took Andy Payton to Celtic and brought Chris Morris and Derek White here to Ayresome Park. Falconer, Wilkinson. Referee pulls back the play for an infringement on Falconer, and Middlesbrough have another free kick. Rising pressure, bit by bit, from Middlesbrough. Up goes Wilkinson, dropping towards Kamara. Falconer had handled it.
I just wonder there, I don't know whether he was unsighted, whether he quite lost his bearings, Paul Wilkinson, but I was quite surprised to see this come back the way instead of go towards goal. A little flick forward there towards the goal. He's only 7 or 8 yards out.
Ritchie's away here for Oldham. This could finish it, but not this time. 54 weeks he's waited for a goal. There was an opportunity.
It was a golden opportunity. When he's away, he's clear. He could wrap up things. He could be going home now. But he looks to be a little bit too delicate there for me, looking for the chip. A fit Andy Ritchie, I'm sure, would have been more positive and clinical in that situation.
Well, that could have killed Middlesbrough stone dead. As it is, they still chase something. Here's Hignett. Will it drop for him? Good play from Hignett, and he can't finish. Did everything right except the last piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah, it was all super individual skill from Craig Hignett. Neil Point just gets a little touch on it, but Hignett's quick to react. He's the quickest, he's the first. Great skill here, 2 little touches, but when it mattered most, he couldn't provide the important one. Look at that, great skill there. Gets it twice, it's there for him, hit the target, but he fails to do so.
Well, I tell you, who'd be a Middlesbrough fan here tonight? Nothing hitting the target. What can they come up with this time? Poynton is there. Kamara. Frantic defending. And Hignett again trying to turn inside, but no joy once more. Ritchie. Flicked on towards Olney. White shrugs him aside. Offside here. Well, I reckon Lenny Lawrence, 45 years of age, he's going to finish this match about 65, isn't he, Andy?
Well, they've had plenty of attempts and goals, we've said, and Lenny will be disappointed that his team just haven't tested the goalkeeper enough. And if you don't hit the target, that old saying, you're never going to score a goal.
Well, managers, of course, try to be philosophical, but it must be hard in this kind of situation. Poynton. Flicked out, here's Ritchie! He might get another bite, and once again, Ritchie, who's been such a deadly striker in his time for Oldham, just can't find his shooting boots. An offside flag against Adams.
Well, this is his second chance now. Lovely little flick from Olney here. The first one, he gets a rebound. Now, his technique is normally very good in this situation, Andy Ritchie. But perhaps just showing there how few games he's actually played.
Will Oldham live to regret those couple of misses by Ritchie? It went for the corner, and this could be a devilish in-swinger with this wind around. Kamara's on the line, Gerrard's handling. Well, it was an easy routine catch for a goalkeeper at this level.
Yeah, this one is more easy catching of the night, wasn't it? And they're looking to that near post area, but that again, this shows you the importance of the delivery, how it's got to be perfect.
Poynton. Some disillusioned Middlesbrough fans beginning to trail away disconsolately, but fans have done that before, left grounds with their teams 2-0 down, and then they've heard later that they won 3-2. Middlesbrough are still looking for something, and there's still time, though less of it with every passing second, of course. Kamara, that's a foul, taken quickly. Hignett, and Ritchie showing his experience there. In goes Moen. That will be fine as far as Oldham are concerned. He's taken a deflection because it's Middlesbrough's throw. Phillips here. Falconer going up for this one. Bernard got up very, very well indeed. He's not a tall man, but he got up with a header well there.
Great spring it was from Bernard.
Curtis Fleming. Here's Hignett. Was he held off there by Fleming? One or two screams from the Middlesbrough fans, but the players significantly, not too many protests.
Yeah, I think right as well. I agreed with the referee here. Just shepherds the ball. You see that? Doing nothing wrong except just encouraging the ball back to his goalkeeper.
Just wondered whether Fleming was pulling him back, but maybe not. Phillips to Falconer. And Falconer is impeded on the way through, and Middlesbrough have yet another free kick. But they've got to make one of these promising positions count. Here's Moen. He's put it in. Was it offside? It wasn't. Middlesbrough now have got a lifeline. Oldham were looking for the offside. Nicky Moen sprung the trap, and Middlesbrough are back in business.
Watch the number 11. He's the key. The Oldham number 11. They all go out. He stays in. You can see there, Moen's not offside. And at last, they finally get past Paul Gerrard. It's a dangerous policy, that, if everyone's not clued into it. And Paul Bernard goes to sleep, and Oldham now have got, what, 7 or 8 worrying minutes probably ahead.
Well, those fans who left will be wishing now they didn't. 2-1. And Middlesbrough will be looking to get it forward at every opportunity. Like now, with Henry. Storming forward. Middlesbrough are looking for the equaliser. We could be in here for a very, very dramatic finish. There's no penalty there, right, I think. Rather looking for it.
I was a bit surprised at that. I thought Tommy Wright was past him. Well, there's no need to be looking for anything there. You watch it as he comes in, he's got past him, and he does nothing wrong, Gunnar Haller, but Tommy Wright just falls over.
No penalty. Well, hope springs eternal for Lenny Lawrence. For Oldham. It's every bit as tight and tense as we thought it would be. Ritchie is onside here. He's got Henry in support, and Ritchie has finished it this time. 3-1 Oldham. Andy Ritchie's first goal for a year has surely delivered 3 points to the Latics of Oldham Athletic and Joe Royle.
Well, this is awful defending from Derek White. You watch the number 6 here. Andy Ritchie makes a run. Look, the number 6, she stands. They both do. Standing, waiting for offside. It was never going to come. And he gets it perfectly right this time. The goalkeeper's committed to the dive, and Ritchie coolly lofts it over him.
A sweet, sweet moment this for Andy Ritchie, who's had so many injury problems. He'd squandered 2 other chances. He didn't squander the third.
amazing. They work so hard to get themselves back in the game, and then just when they need it most, the two centre-backs who have hardly had to defend all of the second half just go to sleep.
Middlesbrough 1, Oldham 3, inside the last 5 minutes now. And Middlesbrough, having given themselves a chance of a point, immediately surrendered that chance, or so it would seem, unless we're going to have yet more happenings in the last 5 minutes.
Well, I think we would have been surprised if Oldham had kept a clean sheet. I think that was one thing they said, they haven't been able to do it away from home, but I think we'd also be surprised if Middlesbrough can conjure up another couple of goals in this last 5 minutes.
Falconer. Haller got in well. Here's Olney. Bernard hustled out of it by Kamara. Right. Now Moen. Wilkinson flicks it on. Pointon belts it away as far as he can manage. Here's Wilkinson again with Jobson. Oldham Athletic now within sight of only their second away win of the season. And Middlesbrough, who lost their last home game against Liverpool, and the one before that against Nottingham Forest, and the one before that against Coventry, could be heading for a fourth successive home defeat. You just cannot afford those when you're down in the dreaded bottom three. If it stays like this, Nottingham Forest will be bottom of the table in a few minutes' time, unless Middlesbrough have something else in store. Little flick header and a goal! Hignett's done it. He's put Middlesbrough back in it again. Well, what a finish this is. Gerrard can't believe it, but Craig Hignett has scored.
Well, it's a good ball in, and for once, Fleming's not in the right position. You see, he's in front of Hignett, and it's a lovely little header, it has to be said. You watch the way he just guides the ball. Look at that. Guides it right into the corner to give the goalkeeper no chance. Well, I didn't think they'd get two, but who knows in this game.
Fourth goal for Craig Hignett for Middlesbrough, but his first since he scored at Aston Villa in mid-January, the last time we had them on Sky Sports. A frantic finale at Ayresome Park. Well, Oldham seem absolutely hell-bent on making life difficult for themselves. Olney. Really was a very sweet finish, though, by Hignett, wasn't it?
That was a lovely header.
Jobson letting it run. Inside the last 2 minutes. This has been some game, Andy.
Yeah, I just wonder, Derek White there, I wonder what he's thinking now. Had he and Nicky Moen just been a little bit more disciplined 5 minutes ago, they might just be looking for a victory here rather than a draw-in.
These are heart-stopping moments for the fans of both of these clubs now. Middlesbrough fans praying for an equaliser. Oldham praying that they don't give it all away right at the death. Haller gets there, but it's not really away. Jobson. And then Adams. And Ritchie here will look to use his experience to hold it up, but White's there ahead of him. There's the clock ticking away inside the last minute. Come on, Borough, says this young fan. They've got to get on with it. Falconer. And remember, it's so tight at the bottom that if they did get an equaliser, who knows, it might be the point that keeps them in the Premier League. By the way, football coming up, Turkey and England in the World Cup live, 3 o'clock Wednesday week. And if you miss it then, highlights at 8 o'clock that evening. 3-2 to Oldham here. Wilkinson trying to flick it on. Jobson gets it away. Oldham can counter here. They'll want to keep possession, but they've given it away again. And there's a free kick given. There's a free kick to Oldham.
I think Chris Kamara agreed with that decision somehow.
Well, Oldham will take as long as they can possibly get away with this free kick.
Well, who'd be managing down at the bottom of the Premier League? Kenny Laws is right what he said about pressure being tough down here.
Certainly harder at the bottom. Milligan. We are into injury time now. How much will referee Kelvin Morton add on here? He's taken the signal from his two linesmen that the time is up, the normal time. Oldham badly need to keep possession. Offside here, so this will give Middlesbrough a free kick.
Well, they've got to just take Derek White and Nicky Moore now. Just get up there, get in the box.
Now Ritchie's going to get booked there. The whistle had gone long before, and he kicked the ball to the goalkeeper.
Well, you can hear Andy Ritchie there tweeting his innocence, saying he didn't hear it. And I think, to be fair to Andy, I don't think he did hear it, but the referee's been blowing it. It's a little bit unfortunate. But everyone's up. Just look at the edge of that penalty area.
I think the ref was exasperated because he'd been trying to get the ball back for about 20 seconds before that. Phillips, maybe the last chance for Middlesbrough. Jobson gets there, they've got it away. And there goes the final whistle. Oldham Athletic have won this relegation dogfight, and they've got the 3 points, only their second away win. Andy Ritchie getting the third and what proved to be decisive goal, but what a nail-biting finish it was, and the small band of Oldham fans who've taken the trouble will be very pleased that they did so. It really was a tense finish. Oldham looked in control at 2-0. Craig Hignett there, whose goal made it 3-2 to set up that very tense final couple of minutes. Paul Gerrard, bit of a hero for Oldham Athletic. And how does that leave things? Oldham are out of the bottom three for the first time since mid-January. Forest are bottom, Middlesbrough second to bottom, Sheffield United back down in the bottom three, though Sheffield United play at Coventry on Wednesday. Forest go to Southampton. The plot thickening all the time. Disappointment for the Middlesbrough fans, elation for those Oldham fans, but the battle is not over yet. Oldham with 5 home games, Wimbledon, Sheffield United, Southampton, Sheffield Wednesday and Liverpool to play, and 3 away, Liverpool, Spurs and Villa. 5 at home, 3 away. That's not a bad run-in at all for Oldham Athletic. So let's go downstairs and meet some of the protagonists there with Nick Collins.
Ian, thanks very much. Let's start with Andy Ritchie, the man whose goal in the end proved decisive. Your first of the season too.
Yeah, just about, yeah. We made it hard for ourselves, didn't we? We let them back into it twice, and really we shouldn't have done, but it worked out in the end. We've got the 3 points. That's what we need. It's really 6, isn't it, really?
Let's also bring Craig Hignett in, because you then made it very close indeed with that final goal. But how much of a disappointment is it to lose a game like this?
Oh, obviously it's a big disappointment. You know, both teams are in the bottom half, and we knew this one was a 6-pointer. And the first half we were very disappointed with it, really, and we let the game slip straight from the off.
Well, I think we can show you that goal. Craig, here it comes. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it was a great ball in by Willie Faulkner, and I found myself in between 2 people and just glanced it and hoped for the best, and luckily enough it went in.
Well, that brought the crowd to life again, but the goal that had really shut them up, of course, had come a few minutes earlier. Andy, yours, I think we can take a look at that as well. Here we go.
Yeah, been caught offside a couple of times and just managed to break the offside trap here. And I was in 2 minds a little bit, but he went down early and just managed to flick it over him. And very nice to see it go in.
How much confidence does that give you to now go on and get out of the trouble that you're in?
Well, I think we've played quite well for the last few games. You know, we were unlucky at Norwich apparently, and we're doing quite well. The confidence has always been sky high. It's never really been down. There's a good set of lads, and we've got good confidence between ourselves. So this could be the platform to make our assault up the league.
Well, we'll see. Just a very quick word with Ian Olney, who scored the 2nd goal tonight. You're claiming it, and you're absolutely convinced, are you?
Definitely. Just scrambled it over the line, but I'm definitely claiming that one.
What part of it did you manage to touch?
Well, I don't know. It's just basically, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter as long as I just scrambled it over the line. That's all that counts.
Gave Oldham a bit of breathing space as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and we needed it in the second half. I think, you know, we didn't turn them enough in the second half with the wind, and they came at us well and pinned us in.
Well, it was a terrific match. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Pleasure. Cheers. All the best.
Thank you, Nick. Well, the Oldham fans around us here are absolutely delighted with that. They're out of the bottom three for the first time since January. When we come back, we'll have words with Dave Bassett, the Sheffield United manager, see what he made of it. The big match verdict is next. Welcome back to the Monday Night Football. Let's check these match facts. Middlesbrough 2, Oldham 3. Middlesbrough shots 17, only 4 on target. Oldham 9, 4 on target. And that, as Andy Gray was pointing out in the second half, is probably where the difference lay. 9 corners in total, 7 to Middlesbrough. The free kicks conceded, look, 27 by Middlesbrough, 39 from Oldham. It was that desperate. Oldham got 3 vital points out of it. Dave Bassett, Sheffield United's manager, is with us. That puts you back in the bottom 3, of course, although you do have a game or 2 in hand, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Well, I think we have 1 game in hand
on
Oldham and 2 on Middlesbrough. So we've got our work cut out, but if we lose the last couple of games like we have, then you have to expect to be in the relegation zone. But all credit to Oldham tonight. They played well and they kept their cool. Really, they shot themselves in the foot a little bit with the first goal when they're trying to play offside at a free kick, and that lifted Middlesbrough for a few minutes. But Andy Ritchie would be delighted to get a chance like that to come back straight away.
Well, just let's have a look at the goals. Adams got the opener in the first half. At the end of a good spell by Middlesbrough, this.
Yeah.
Oldham turned it round on them, didn't they?
Well, Oldham had got back in the game and playing quite well here, and Olney does quite well here. He takes it on his chest. He's looking as if he's going to cross it. He checks back on his right foot, and he's clipping it far post, and Bernard's pulled off and has put a good strong header away in the corner and gives the goalkeeper no chance there.
So that was 1-0. Olney, as we heard, is claiming the second. I don't suppose it matters too much to anybody from Oldham who got it. It counted 2-0 at half-time as a result of this.
That's right, the corner comes in and Jobson gets up above Mohan, heads it down 6-yard box. Players haven't blocked it, and Olney's stayed in on the line, and his presence there has caused problems to the goalkeeper and the Middlesbrough defender.
Now that was 2-0. It was beginning to look as though Middlesbrough were not going to get the break they needed. And then this from the free kick. As Oldham went out, Middlesbrough punished them.
That's right. Well, Oldham go out and Bernard stays in, and this leaves the boy Mohan with a good chance, and he puts it away well on the volley, really.
Didn't he take it well?
Yeah, he does put it away well. As you can see, they're going out, and it's always a tricky thing to do. Teams do it, and sometimes they get away with it, and then sometimes you get punished. If you get punished, it's all over, really.
Well, we thought we were in for a barnstorming finish there, but Oldham broke away again. And Andy Ritchie, as we've heard of, hadn't been on the mark in a year or so. Mind you, he has been injured for a good deal of that. Made it 3-1.
Yeah, the both centre-halves are really White's out of position, and Mohan plays offside, unnecessary, and then Andy Ritchie's through. And the goalkeeper does go down a little bit early and makes his mind up, and Ritchie's more than happy with that, just clipping it over him.
A clinical finisher like Ritchie is odds on, isn't he, when the keeper commits himself like that?
That's right. Well, he hasn't scored for a while, and it's happened, and the keeper, you can see, goes down and he lifts it over him nicely. You know, it's meat and drink to a striker of his calibre.
With the crowd streaming out, we weren't finished because Middlesbrough managed to find another, although a little bit too late as it turned out.
That's right, the ball's getting forward here. Faulkner picks it up and he goes to cross it, he comes back on his favourite left foot and he clips it in, and Hignitz just gets in behind the boy Fleming, and it's a good header. He glances it away, and the keeper's got no chance. I mean, the keeper made a couple of good saves all night, but he has no chance with this. He's in between the centre-halves, a little nice glancing header and staunching, and it's 3-2, but not really much time for Middlesbrough to save the game at that stage.
Let's just have a look at the league table. Top to bottom, we know that Villa are top, Manchester United are second, Norwich are third, Sheffield Wednesday are fourth. But of course it's down at the bottom that we're concentrating tonight. Now, I suppose we ought to leave a word here to Dave. What do we make of all that, Dave?
Well, it's all very tight, really. It's still those same 4 clubs. There's that little bit of gap with Crystal Palace, and Everton and Leeds have just got those extra points and games. But it's up to us 4 really to try and catch them up. And at the moment, obviously, the bookies and everybody's going to say, well, it's between those 4, and nobody would particularly argue. But there's still a few games, there's a few bottled games to come, and before you know it, a few teams can slip into it. But if I was a gambling man, I'd say it's us four, unless we can pull Crystal Palace back into it.
It's a rare old tussle. Let's hear what Lenny Lawrence and Joe Royle made of all this tonight.
Well, Joe, first of all, congratulations, but you don't like doing it the easy way, really, do you?
Never have done. Never have done. I mean, you must love us. We're liable to score one or two, but there's always one or two at the other end. To be honest, I mean, Lenny might see it different. I thought we were quite comfortable when they scored the first goal, and then one player sleeps in on a bit of an offside trap, and all of a sudden we're under the cosh again. And I thought, well, I've seen this film before, but we got the third one, and that was vital, really.
Last 5 games, though, 2 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 defeat. You show that form over the next 5, and you may have a fairly relaxed end of season.
Yeah, we might make Europe. It's that close, but we have had a good run. We've been a little bit more stable and sensible of late, and that's something that we haven't always been.
Lenny, if I could bring you in here, after losing this one, it was billed as the 6-pointer beforehand. Can you still survive, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a major blow for us losing, especially in the manner we lost, but well done to Oldham for that. They did very well. We're barely alive. We know we've given a mountain to climb. Oldham, whatever it is, 1 point in front of us, having played 1 game less. It's not all over yet. It'll be 3 from the bottom 4, I think, unless Palace can be pulled back into it. But we'll have to improve defensively, otherwise it'll be academic as far as we're concerned.
Where do you draw consolation after a result like this?
Well, we gave away 2 bad goals with defensive lapses in the first half, which is what we've been doing all the season, is why we're down the bottom. They showed spirit in the second half and pinned Oldham back without creating too many chances, really. Then we got a goal. And then the most important thing is to keep the pressure on, and then we commit defensive suicide in the worst piece of nonsense you'd ever wish to see. Then it's 3-1 and the pressure's off them. And ironically, we get the second goal back. Now, had it been 2-1, of course, that might have got us a point. But there we are. Oldham did it. They played well on the break and they battled well.
Was it all down to confidence, do you think, the fact that you managed to pull off another good result tonight?
I think we've been gaining confidence. We got a slightly fortunate draw at Goodison a few weeks ago, and having been 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go, we were back in and we got a point, and then we beat United, and we've drawn a lot from that. And even though we lost at Norwich to an own goal in this little run, you know, we generally have been looking tighter of late, and I'm almost scared to say that with us, but as long as we keep taking the tablets, we've got a chance. We've got 5 games at home and 3 away left now.
Do you think Lenny Lawrence's Middlesbrough can survive as well?
Of course it can. We can all survive. I mean, and you've seen it change so quickly before. At this stage last year, everybody was saying that Southampton were down, and I think they've finished about 10th from bottom. So there's a long way to go yet. It'll change several times, I'm sure.
Lenny, how do you think the last few weeks of the season will pan out?
I think it's going to be tight between the bottom 4. Nobody, apart from Oldham to some extent, are showing enough form to rapidly climb the table. Oldham are showing the best form out of the teams in the bottom 4. We've got to pick ourselves up. We haven't got a game till Saturday week now, and just bat on and do the best you can. You never give up until it's statistically impossible. Obviously, we've got to stop letting goals in, but we'll just keep doing our best and go to the end.
Well, we wish you both luck. Lenny, Joe, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Nice men, brave men. It seems the fellas at the bottom will come out and talk to you no matter what. Middlesbrough 2, Oldham Athletic 3. We've heard from the managers. Next, we'll be hearing from the fans. Welcome back. A real 6-pointer this. Oldham won it. This is what they're saying outside, starting with the Oldham fans.
Obviously, we're quite impressed with it. We went out, we defended our lead from the start. Obviously, the last 7 minutes, you know, 3 goals scored. Obviously, for you at Sky, it was going to be a good one, but we're happy with the results in the end. We defended well.
I'm extremely happy. I've had £2 on them at 33-1 to win 3-2, so extremely happy. And it takes us out of the bottom 3.
Do you think they can now avoid relegation?
I hope so. There's still a long way to go, really. Some difficult matches, but I'm sure that's going to do the confidence the world of good.
Well, I mean, we tried our best at the end, we couldn't get back. I mean, we had all the ball in the second half, just couldn't make an incisive run like and score, so...
We've just got to wait for next season, haven't we, and hope that we can pull out. I mean, it's all against the odds, but we might get through. If not, let's win the championship next season for the First Division.
How bad a result is that for Middlesbrough?
It's not a very good result, considering all them are underneath them, or were under them. But we've just got to try harder and see if we can get back up again.